Joining us now is Congressman Tom Malinowski. He's a Democrat from New Jersey. He's a member of the House Foreign Relations Committee. Before running for Congress, Mr. Malinowski served in the State Department as Assistant Secretary of State for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor. Sir, it's really nice to have you here on the show tonight. Thanks for making time to be here.
Thank you.
So let me first get your reaction to the news tonight that the Pentagon is deploying an additional 1,000 U.S. troops to the Middle East. The acting defense secretary is describing this as a response to increased Iranian threats to U.S. personnel and interests in the region. What's your reaction to that?
Well, there are increased threats. It is a very dangerous situation, but think about this from the standpoint of the last 3 years. 3 years ago, Iran's nuclear program was under control. Iran was not attacking shipping in the Persian Gulf, and our allies were 100% with us in holding Iran accountable. Now they are breaking free of the constraints of the nuclear deal. They apparently are attacking oil tankers in the Gulf, and we are completely alone. Our allies are not with us because we tore up the deal. We're not better off. We are not safer. And, you know, the administration keeps thumping its chest and saying we've somehow restored deterrence against Iran. We're so tough. Well, it doesn't seem like Iran is deterred. They are doing more dangerous things today than they were under the Obama administration.
Do you feel like the Trump administration is sort of hell-bent on escalation here? I mean, they have been making a public case that Iran has become dramatically more threatening, specifically in recent weeks. I mean, we in the public don't really have a way to assess the case that they're making. We don't have a great way to assess the quality of the evidence that they're presenting. They're obviously telling a story that Iran is basically trying to start a war with us, and we're only reluctantly being drawn into this sort of conflict. I mean, do you in Congress have access to better information? Have you seen anything that either supports or rebuts what the administration has been claiming about Iran recently?
They did brief us before this latest alleged attack on the oil tankers, and I got to tell you, without going into details, in that briefing we were not presented with any convincing evidence that Iran is significantly escalating. Look, I mean, Iran has been engaged in threatening activities for years. They're responsible for hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians being killed in Syria. But we were not presented with any evidence of significant escalation. The attack on the tanker, if that's Iran, and it probably is, that's a serious deal. But again, we have our share of responsibility in bringing the region to this point. There was no real justification for tearing up the deal, for imposing these sanctions when Iran was abiding by its terms of the agreement and turning our backs on offers from our allies in Europe to help us to deal with Iran's actual threatening activities. The Europeans offered to work with us to sanction Iran over support for terrorism, its missile developments. We said no, and we set off on our own on this course, which the administration itself now admits has produced far more dangerous behavior. And what do they want? I have no idea. I don't think Trump wants a war. I don't think he knows what he wants. He wanted to sound tough. And now we're in this situation where you know, I worry about what Iran might do. The United States does not have a monopoly on making stupid mistakes in the Middle East. The Iranians could make a stupid mistake here as well.